Hi. The goal of this episode is to make you feel happy, inspired, and optimistic. Welcome to Perfect Thoughts, the show with good intentions that understands the power of how tiny thoughts and actions can grow. There is a lot of information out here, a lot. But no matter what, honor your word first. It's your life and only you know truly the ins and outs of that. My name is Hueclouds. I am just here if you need me. So, it's 2014 and it's a very happy day that I am going to be sharing with my closest friends who I now have a picture with from graduation day. In 2014, I graduated high school and we were all about to go on our very own personal life paths, but for someone who was always so interested in everything, I had millions of ideas, but zero clue of what I was actually good at. I always say that Hueclouds, the brand, started in 2018. But the truth is that you don't realize when the true moment begins. Now it's easy to see how not knowing what I was good at was the best gift. And without knowing it, I was already building the moment that I started writing on a piece of paper of just how bad I felt that I wasn't good at anything. It's a scary feeling to have when all of your friends basically seem to know what their life is going to look like for the next 2 decades. They already knew what cars they would buy, the places they would live, and where they would go to school. All I knew was that I felt bad and I wanted to feel better. So I started writing down the right questions on my journal. In the beginning, I was honestly complaining on my notebook. I would be so overprotective over my thoughts and feelings because I know of good people who want you to grow, learn, and win. But there's others who feel as shitty as I once felt. But instead of asking the right questions and turning that anger and sadness into art or self-empowering activities, they instead pin their frustrations onto someone else to blame but themselves. So if you like my path and you're tired of being mad at yourself, maybe copy some of my questions that I once felt I had to hide from the world. How can I feel better? How can this pain create something good? How do other people make their ideas come to life? How can this annoying experience teach me a positive? What did the other people that started out in an even more humble place than me did first? Like, what did they do first? How did they get to where they are today? And what do they all have in common? That question is what led me to the next steps. What do they all have in common? I thought. See, what they all had in common is actually very much what I was doing. They all wrote it down. So the answers wrote themselves day by day. You learn by doing, and writing down your ideas is doing something. So then year by year, I would find better answers to my questions, and my questions that at first were only complaints turned into lessons and light bulb moments that I would continue to add to every single time I got the chance. I know there is people out there who are sad, but they come off as bad, and that you might have to keep your thoughts and feelings a secret for a bit so they don't use it against you. I've been there too. I guess the takeaway from this whole thing is that what I say in the intros and outros is true. You do have the answers and the right ideas, but we have to build our mindset so strong to where you understand what I mean by no one can take that from you. You see, even if they were to take your notebooks or your ideas, they wouldn't know what to do with it because you already did the work and you can do it again and again until you get it right. I never wanted people to stay feeling like I felt back then. And so now my purpose is to share it with anyone who will listen, because I know what it's like to feel lost, but be so close to what you're looking for. Everything snaps into place. But you do have to have somewhere to think, a safe place to put it all in. And in a way, my journal is now an audio podcast that I look forward to sharing with you every single week, especially on Mondays. I picked Monday for a reason, because apparently, Mondays are the days when most people have heart attacks due to stress and anxiety linked to their current identity, how they built their life, and how they feel about themselves, or about, like I said, about life really, their coping ways, etc. Also, I know that trying to build and feel good about yourself isn't the easiest thing to do when you can't see those who are building with you and cheering you on. So let me be the loudest in your city, so you can also learn to speak up in empowering ways instead of shouting out in silent pain. I'm going to continue to create, and I hope that you follow my example and create what you love in your very own way. So this one's sweet and short, but it's so meaningful. And this is it for today. But before I go, I'll remind you that when you hear the truth, you can feel it as if it was always there, as if you always knew. It's because you do. But just like me, sometimes we need a little bit more feedback. So let me know what you think of this episode. And I'll see you next Monday. I'm Hueclouds. Take care of your perfect thoughts. Peace. P.S. Have you guys noticed how I do all of these episodes in pretty much one take? If I ever pause, it's because I'm literally running out of breath. All right, I just wanted to flex. Peace.